We're talking about lead tones today. So don't take this as the best way to get a guitar tone. We're just talking about lead tones, classic vocal quality lead tones. I'm going to share 3 factors that are, in my opinion, the most important components in achieving a good lead tone. If you want to hear more and if you like this content, please like, subscribe, and share that bad boy with your homies. Let's do it. Number 1 is boosting your master volume. Boosting your master volume allows you to derive gain from the amp's power tubes as opposed to relying heavily on the amp's preamp tubes for gain. Now, without getting into how tube amps work, because frankly I don't fully understand it, I just know that power tubes have greater authority over the final sound of your amp. And when you allow the power tubes to work more, they produce these fragile harmonics that seem to bloom when the amp is pushed to the point of overdrive. This also results in a tighter, bolder response which feels more natural and less processed, allowing for a fuller sound with more headroom and better compression control. Raising your master volume inevitably raises the volume of your amp, which causes the speakers to physically push more air, which in turn amplifies the frequencies already being produced. And if you've ever cranked up an amplifier all the way up to 11, you'll notice that even without touching the tone controls, the amp is considerably brighter. This is partly because of the harmonic overdrive of the power tubes, but also the physics of a speaker being able to push more air, which acoustically boosts EQ. And let's just face it, every lead guitar tone that we've ever known and loved generally started with a tube amplifier being cranked up. Now, can you get a good lead tone at a quiet volume? Absolutely. But it probably won't go down in history. At least it hasn't thus far. Number 2, balancing natural compression. Too much compression, or squash as we call it, causes your tone to sound processed and less natural, and is generally harder to listen to for long periods of time. But too little compression causes your tone to lack that life and luster that is necessary to create that naturally beautiful human voice quality, or some call it the cello sound. It's the sound that resonates with the human soul. Achieving the right amount of compression is done by finding the right balance between power tube overdrive, preamp gain, pedal overdrive, pickup style, and speaker characteristics. If one takes, one must give, or else you're gonna have too much of this compression and it's just not gonna sound natural anymore. And this is why I recommend starting off with your master volume at a level where the power tubes feel bold and punchy, and where the speaker begins to bloom. Then you can dial in the right amount of compression or saturation from your preamp or gain section of your amp, or a pedal if you like, or if you're Joe Bonamassa, just use any kind of Les Paul with a PAF style pickup and you got all the compression you need. Lastly, proper EQ. There's an overwhelming science behind EQ, but the simplest way that I can put it is this. EQing is simply allowing certain frequencies to pass through while restricting others from passing through. And every instrument has its own natural frequency profile, even when it is completely unplugged. Changing one component can drastically change the frequency profile of your instrument. For example, the fretboard, the nut material, the string height, all of these nuances do affect how the instrument naturally resonates, which means they affect the EQ of the instrument before ever even being amplified. So without getting into all of the science behind it, the EQ on your amp is either revealing the frequencies that are naturally occurring in your instrument and even boosting them, or it is suppressing those frequencies and in some cases eliminating them entirely. And while EQ is hugely essential to creating a great guitar tone of any kind, it should be last on the list, and that's because, this is important, if you don't have the proper characteristics in your guitar chain to begin with, no amount of EQ can save you. If you're dialing in your EQ, but you don't have your overdrive or your compression or your speaker characteristics sorted out, your tone controls basically have nothing to work with. But if you let your guitar shine by driving the power tubes properly to enhance those fragile, delicate harmonics inside of your instrument, and if you find that sweet spot where your master volume complements the speakers in your cabinet to push just the right amount of air, and if you balance out these components with the preamp section of your amp, your pedals, your pickups, and you get just the right amount of compression or sponginess, then EQ becomes your secret weapon to shape the final sound to fit your fingers, your style of music, and to fit the surroundings in your environment. And in my opinion, that's how you achieve a timeless lead guitar tone that resonates with the human soul. Bonus tip. Another thing that all great lead guitar tones have in common, from Eric Clapton to Eric Johnson to Joe Bonamassa, Andy Timmons, Eddie Van Halen, Jeff Beck, Alan Holdsworth, Robben Ford, all of the greats, they all emphasize mid-range. It's the area of the frequency spectrum that feels most like the human voice and is naturally comfortable for the ears to listen to. But all of these components must work together. Natural overdrive, your power tubes and your speaker movement, balanced compression, your preamp, your pedals, and your pickups, the 3 Ps. And then finally, complementary EQ, shaping the final sound to fit your fingers. And if you think about it, guitar tone isn't something that you see people teaching very often, if ever. It's obviously hugely subjective, so it's not something that you can just teach in the sense that, oh, here's the right way to do it, here's the wrong way to do it. I'm just sharing with you what I've discovered over the years in trying to find a tone that inspires me to play. And these are the things that I have discovered. So in the end, do what inspires you to play the most. But if these tips can give you any kind of direction in your journey towards finding your tone, I am happy to help. And again, please like and subscribe if this video did anything for you. And let me know in the comments what you'd like to see next, and we can make it happen. Until then, cheers.